morning. Hello and a very warm welcome to Brand Equity with me, Sonali Krishna. It's a day of big entertainment news. Amazon Prime has actually stated doubling their investment in India. They've launched a new transactional video on demand service. They've announced Amazon Originals, a slate of 41 new shows. They've looked at co-productions, which are going to be theatrical releases. So lots happening at Amazon Prime. So I'm joined by Gaurav Gandhi, the country head of Amazon Prime India, to actually put all of this for me in perspective. Thank you so much, Gaurav. Truly a pleasure having you on the show. Let me start and dive straight in. One of the few things that were mentioned is that you were looking to double your investments in India here, and obviously your commitment to India was shown at this big event when you had your global team down, you had all the stars, and you had a big slate of upcoming releases. For all of us who are your subscribers, we're excited, but why the sudden need for this big bang event, big bang announcements, and of course the doubling of investment?
We're celebrating our 5 years of Prime Video.
Sure.
We complete 5 years in December, and we just wanted to get together with everyone and share what we've been up to. Our teams have done some incredible work on the original side to get a slate together. We of course have had some of the great shows releasing over the last year and a half in the pandemic as well. But I thought it was a good opportunity for us to thank everyone for being part of our journey for the last 5 years and talk about what's in store for at least the next couple of them. So what we announced today were 41 new titles amongst originals, movies, series, some co-productions, and of course a slew of licensing partnerships. And of course we also announced our new movie rental service, transactional video on demand, which sort of one more step in becoming the most preferred marketplace in the country. If you recall, we had launched our channel service late last year.
Sure.
So this is one more step to being sort of the preferred entertainment hub for customers in the country.
Right. So I want to do a rejoinder for all that you mentioned, but before I do, I know you don't give out numbers and you're very tight-lipped, but it's my job to ask. So when you say double your investments, can you give me a perspective of what the investments were and what is the kind of doubling we're talking about?
Well, I can't share with you the numbers, as you know, but I think the fact that we've actually deeply invested in India over the last 5 years is shown in the commitment we've had towards our content that we have had,
sure.
How we launch products here, a mobile plan, channels business, and so on. And today we just give a glimpse of what we have in store for the next couple of years, sure, with the shows we're releasing. So we are doubling our investments in the next 5 versus the last 5. Well, I can't give you the numbers. I can tell you for sure it's India is a super important country for Prime Video overall. Sure. And we're doing really well. We have one of the highest engagement rates in the world. We've been talking about the fact that lots of new customers are joining Prime to watch video. So overall, it's been fantastic. And I think one of the things we'll be doing is besides the investments we're making, which go into growth of Prime Video and Prime in the country, we're also growing the creative economy of India. And we are very happy about fueling that creative economy.
Sure. Okay, let's deep dive into some interesting trends that we're seeing, and of course, who better than you to give me some perspective on that. What do you make of the perceived slowdown of subscriber acquisitions globally across platforms, and how do you see it playing out in India?
I think to me, the India opportunity is pretty large. I think what we talked about it earlier. Indian customers pay for content. They've always paid for content, right? We talked about it.
We can debate on that.
We talked about it a few months back on this one as well.
Yeah.
I think the value conscious, not price conscious. We talked about it. I think at a high level, the opportunity, the pay TV universe already exists. You could look at that as the opportunity.
It's not
necessarily cannibalization. I'm saying there are customers who are paying for content for television. There are customers who are paying for content for cinema and going to theaters. There are customers who are paying for content in many different ways. So customers are happy to pay for great content.
Okay.
And I think to us, the fact that we are going, and the announcements we're making today, and more series and movies that we launch going forward, we truly believe that there is a big opportunity here for India to create content for customers here and for people around the world. Indian stories are also becoming very big internationally. We are already seeing 1 in 5 of our customers of our original series from outside India, which we create. So we really believe in the opportunity here, and I think it's very early days. It's just 5 years of the industry in India, at least.
Yeah, sure.
And that's been our journey as well. So we actually think it's too early to write report cards about the industry or by anybody else, but we're happy with the start we've had.
Okay.
And we're very optimistic about what lies ahead in front of us.
But you still haven't told me from a macro perspective, removing your Amazon Prime India hat, globally, if you look at the narrative that is going on, and this is just not Amazon specific, it's streaming specific, where there is some kind of fatigue and there has been a depletion of subscribers. So why is that happening globally?
I think, first of all, the fact of the matter is customers love new content and new shows and movies. So there's no denying the fact that if you have a new show and movie that customers love, they don't want to watch it. Now, it is generally a question about how you're able to continue to sustain that customer base in a continued way and ensure you're super serving them. And I think every service tries to do that, to make sure I'm continuing to invest behind content and series and movies and shows to be able to super serve the customer. We actually believe that if you continue to do that, there should be a problem in terms of customers saying, hey, I don't want to continue this service. I actually am a big believer there's a big opportunity, and the overall picture is very optimistic.
Sure. But just to talk a little bit about this, I'm interested to understand from you that is the slowdown in subscription acquisition globally, and I'm not talking about your company specifically, globally across streaming services. Do you think it's content play, or is it that the pandemic-induced impetus that OTTs got now with the opening up of countries and people actually being able to go out again has kind of slowed that down?
I think while I can't answer for other organizations and other companies,
okay.
I can tell you from my experience at Prime Video that while there was a obvious surge in consumption that happened at that point in time, where customers had lesser entertainment choices and more time, I think that change has also led to habit formation.
Okay.
Right? People have generally moved even more so to watch digital content, digital series, more acceptable for films being released straight on theaters. Today, actually, there's no difference in customers' mind whether a movie was released in theater or on straight to streaming.
Sure.
I mean, a great example is Shershah, for example. We keep talking about it. It got its love and reach. It's through Prime Video. So I feel we have 58 films, by the way, in the last 20 months, straight to streaming in 6 languages. So I think
just on Prime Video.
Just on Prime Video, 58 films released direct to service across 6 languages. Now the point I'm making here is there are two ways to look at this. Hey, of course, lots of people moved in to join streaming services. But they joined at that time and continue to join, but their habits have changed. They love the way they consume content, and they consume lots more. And I think that is a long-term shift towards streaming.
Got it.
And should not sort of be confused by the fact that, yes, there were more volumes. The volumes continue. Right? But the habit change is permanent.
Let me talk about your latest offering, which is transactional video on demand, which is basically movie rentals on demand. How does it work?
Yeah.
And why do you think this is a good offering to begin with? And is it only for Prime customers, or can I not be a Prime customer and still utilize the service?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, it is for all customers who are Prime and who are yet to join and become Prime members. The way it works is you actually can now come and rent a single film after its theatrical release. In a pretty early window, and you can watch that film and for a limited period of time and don't have to pay a subscription fee. Right? So that's how it works.
What would be the pricing exactly?
Pricing varies from movie to movie, but basically speaking, it's the high level point is today, and we've spoken about this in the context of DTS when you and I had the conversation actually 2 years back. That for a country which loves its films so much, for the kind of repertoire our producers create, and 2,000 films a year and so on, and just 9,000 cinema screens, we believe we are enablers to get those stories to customers.
Sure.
And we are finding newer ways to get those stories out there to customers. You could license the movies after theater to us and be part of Prime. You could do straight streaming to Prime Video, direct to service if you've done 58 films. Here's one more avenue for creators and producers to say, hey, I've done my cinema run, and here is the movie coming to you, and you can rent just the film.
Right.
And we believe it's more choice to customers.
Sure. So I'm curious that, obviously you won't crack a deal with every movie. So you will have to decide on which deal you crack for this service, right? So what is the decision factor in where you will go aggressively and look at acquiring movies?
I think the way we look at this is we are working with all the major global studios. We're working with all the major local creators across languages, and we want to offer, like I said, this is available. This is a place for creators to come and say, hey, I want to have customers come on and rent my film after theatrical release and reach as wide as possible. And like I said to you, it's available to Prime members and to people who are not yet Prime.
Sure.
And therefore it gives even more reach. Today 99% of countries pin codes are watching Prime Video, but this gives even more reach, so to say, because you're also opening it up to the larger base who's yet to be Prime. So I think it's a fantastic opportunity for creators to really get on to have customers really rent a film.
Sure.
And we would like to work with everyone. And we hope we do that.
I know you're in your investment phase, Gaurav, and my heart goes out to players like you who are really going all out to entertain us, and I think the effort is quite palpable. And there are a few other players who are also doing that and really, focusing on the India market. However, it is also sad to see the reciprocation we as customers have, because I know you don't give out numbers, nobody gives out numbers, but I have my own estimates of numbers. So the MPA report says approximately Hotstar at 51 million, Prime, which is a pure play subscription video on demand, is at about like 22.3 million. I'm not sure if it's accurate or not, but this is the ballpark. And Netflix, which in the same space, is at about 6.1 million members, subscribers. So it is a tough market. It is a price-sensitive market. You're offering us, so much value at dirt cheap rates. We've already had, the Netflix founder express frustration at an investors call globally, which of course has taken the entire market by storm because somebody was so honest. I can understand the frustration because it's a long game. It's a long game. We're a nascent market. We're getting used to it. We're getting used to paying. Sure, we may see, great returns later, but this period requires patience. What is making, companies such as yours have the confidence in making the kind of investments you're making? Because look at the kind of releases you guys have, like 41 originals, you're looking at co-productions, theatrical releases. So you're really going all out, and I'm paying a very paltry sum to enjoy those benefits. How do you have the confidence to keep going?
So lots of questions there. While I can't comment on subscription numbers and what comments others have made, I can tell you we look at two things when we look at future investments. One, opportunity in front of us, and what gives us confidence that we can deliver. And I think both are ticks for us, because the opportunity in front of us is very large.
Sure.
Given the fact that we talked about the audience base in this country across languages and across the length and breadth of the country, who already pays for content. And you and I can have a different point of view about how much they pay and what they want to pay or not. But I truly believe if you offer them great content and right value, they will pay for it. Second is the confidence we get is about our performance to date.
Yeah.
And for the last 5 years, we've consistently been at it to really look at being a local service with Best of International alongside it.
Sure.
We program for each language segment. We go after it from point of view of saying, hey, we really want to tell local authentic stories. We want to invest deeply and not do lip service to saying a particular language. We actually go and invest behind that language with local language content.
Sure.
We top it up with localization of other Indian languages, and then we go beyond that to actually bring international content that can also be available to you in that language. So actually, we've done all of that.
Sure.
Then we've also made sure that we are available quite widely through our distribution partnerships. We do all of that. Now, all of that has led to the fact that we have grown significantly, watched around the country, and that confidence of like having done that and the opportunity in front of us, makes us believe over long term that we should keep investing. And India is a super important market for Amazon overall, and Prime Video India is doing really well. So I think from that point of view, we continue to invest.
Let's just talk about all the stuff that you've done. You're doing Amazon Originals, you acquire good content, you are doing, mega co-productions for theatrical releases. You're also offering your, subscribers or non-subscribers movie rentals now. What is the big vision for Prime Video? What do you want to be?
The big vision for us is to be the most loved entertainment hub of our customers. And I think in that, there are multiple offerings that we give to customers. We'll give an offering which is part of Prime, which is our membership program, which has benefits, which may not be part of Prime.
Right.
But customers can consume like channels as add-on, or for that matter, transactional video services. I think at the very core, it's about telling the best stories with great creators and engaging you as a customer and making you love the service for the stories. The stories can come from us, come from our partners, and so on. So that's the real core of what you want to do. And we want to do it as a service which is truly local, but brings the best of international alongside it. So I think that's what we are aiming for. It's actually not that complicated. It's pretty simple. Focus on the customer, and offer a great entertainment service that they just love.
Tell me, I know you don't, but I'm still going to ask, do you give us a breakup of your Prime subscribers and your Prime Video subscribers? Is there a breakup like that?
We don't. But we talk about the fact that in India, Prime Video has one of the highest engagement rates in the world, and more customers are watching Prime Video. Every single day, every single week, every single month, every single year. So in fact, we are over the last 1 year or so, around the world, India is on top when it comes to new Prime Video customers experiencing the service.
Do you think in the future, of course, these are these are quite nascent days in India, but do you think going forward in the future, just like you have in the US, Nielsen kind of tracking engagement rates of different streaming services, and looking at which shows have engaged you most versus which shows that have done mediocre. Do you think such a service? I know the rating system is quite messed up in our country as we speak, even for as basic as TV. So do you think that system is looking to come to India anytime soon? Not soon, but at least in the near future.
I think there are a variety of research systems that exist around the world, and you could get representation and say, hey, I can get a sense of how many customers have watched this or that. It really depends on how much the sample is going to be, how accurately they measure, and so on. So I can't comment whether they can be there. I think there is genuine there's been advertiser ask in the past about, particularly for ad-supported services, to have some sort of a measurement system. But on a subscription-basis system, that need is not there, right? And so that's part one. Second, I think the ultimate report card for all of us is very transparent about shows and movies that customers love or not. There is social, all the entire social buzz that goes around a show. There is reviews that go around. There's advocacy that goes around. So when Family Man 2 is a hit. When Patal Lok is a hit. When Mirzapur is a hit. So, and that, and when Shersha is, like, all these movies or shows are a hit.
But do you think somewhere, because of this big need of creation, right, and taking a bet on what's working and what's not working, there is some kind of saturation and mediocrity? And I'm not talking about Amazon at all, but if you just look at the slate of releases that have come across platforms, there has been a dumbing down. It started great and it's kind of gotten down to, okay, let's just get more volume out, you know? Do you see that happening already?
There are two questions there in yours, and I'll break it down. I think first question is, do we have too much content? The answer to that is no.
You don't think so? There's a content glut?
No, there's not. I'll tell you why. If you look at the number of people who actually stream video today in the country, whether they're on pay services or they are on free services, and you look at on an average how much time they would have in a day to consume entertainment.
Sure.
And you could take TV reference point as well. We have data which says people spend 3 hours on TV a day, for example, right? I'm just saying we don't have that common data for streaming. But if you were to say there are 3 to 4 hours of entertainment data per day available overall, and you had total number of customers that you have, now that itself is a total hours available is substantial. Now I have to consume as a streamer, and all my peers and competitors in the streaming industry are actually trying to get consumers' attention and time and share of time, right? If you were to total it up and say, do we have enough for people to be engaged? The answer is absolutely no. There's a headroom of growth which is so substantial here. The quality of content is super important. So it's not about a number.
Sure.
It's really about the fact that what you feel good about producing out there. Now, of course, everybody wants to make a hit series and a hit film, and some do better than the others. But the intention is always to, make sure you make great stuff which customers really want. And I think, therefore, there's not too much content. But yeah, you can argue whether all the quality bar across the board in the industry is maintained or not. But yeah, but it's early days again. Like, there's so much to do.
My question is that, we've seen so much. There's so much happening with every player. You're, in fact, the most aggressive player. I only have so much bandwidth to subscribe to, an OTT platform, a streaming service.
Yes.
So I will subscribe to 2 or 3 max. I'm not going to go beyond that because, share of wallet and also share of mind space. So how do you look at the next 5 years? Is there going to be buyouts, consolidation, and also shutdowns?
Yeah, I think the way I look at this is that a streaming service, which is ours, is more of a network than a channel, right? We offer content across multiple languages, multiple genres, multiple audience segments, and so on, right? So, and therefore, there are others as well who do that, right?
Yeah,
when you look at your entertainment needs, you look at like, hey, I prefer to watch X or Y or Z in whatever language you want to watch it.
Sure.
And you make your choices and you stack your choices and you say like, I could have a great show here and a great movie there, and you watch. I do understand that's not a limitless number that you can subscribe to.
Exactly.
But I don't necessarily agree the number may be 2 or 3. It could be more. But that said,
you don't think the model can be? Can you look at the telephony model?
No, I'm just coming to the point. So therefore, it could be more. I'm just saying, the thing is about segmentation in this business. You could have sharply segmented services who could say, I only do this content.
And you think that could be profitable?
Because if the segment is large enough, Nali, and I'm talking on industry level now. It's not
of course.
If a segment is large enough and that customer is discerning, right, they are happy to pay for that content because they won't find it elsewhere. So you have got exclusive content. You have a discerning customer base who wants that content. You have a large enough segment. So therefore, your input towards it, creating the shows and movies, acquiring the shows and movies, could be worth it by the recovery you have in subscription revenues.
Okay. Fun question. For our viewers who are watching, what is Gaurav Gandhi excited about in terms of what you've announced in terms of your slate, whether it be Amazon Originals or it be your big theatrical releases?
I think I'm excited about 3 things today. I mean, no particular show names or movie names because, that's not. I think I'm excited about the fact that we are actually expanding well beyond into our local language originals. The fact that we've done lots in Hindi and we have lots more to announce in Hindi today, but the fact is we are now not just Hindi original slate, we actually have Hindi, Tamil and Telugu original slate. So I'm excited about that.
Okay.
I'm excited about the fact that how we are actually looking at our movie business very holistically.
Right.
And so we continue to do deep partnerships with big licensing partners. We're looking at co-prods and we are looking at original movies. And I'm excited about more choice we are giving to customers in ways they can consume content. So we have the Prime program and join Prime to watch all of this in Prime Video. and channel, and now we are actually offering transactional services as well. So I think on those three macro points, I'm super excited about it, what's in front of us. Yeah, so.
Well, all I can say is, thank you so much for trying so hard to entertain us. There's no better time than to be a customer.
I'm always at it, I told you.
A customer in India. We're really being spoiled, and this is really a golden period, not just for you guys who are investing, but for us who are actually consuming. Hopefully we can pay you for your services in due time, pay you better. And I want to wish you all the very best for all your other endeavors, which you haven't spoken about today. All the best for your sporting endeavors in the future. And hopefully Amazon will continue to entertain and please us as we go along.
Thank you so much, Molly.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.